iCUE is the next generation of Corsair software. Combining the functionality of Corsair Link with our powerful Corsair utility engine, iCUE makes it incredibly easy to customize your system lighting and performance on the fly. Before upgrading to iCUE, you'll first want to uninstall Corsair Link. You can do this by clicking on Start, Settings, Apps, scroll down to Corsair Link in the list, then click Uninstall. Or, if you happen to be using a legacy Corsair Link device, just make sure to update to the latest version of Corsair Link for best compatibility. Next, you'll want to go ahead and download iCUE from the Corsair website. Once it's finished downloading, run the installer and follow the prompts. After a quick restart, you'll be greeted by the main iCUE window, as well as any profiles that were carried over from a previous installation of CUE. And that's it, you're now running iCUE, the next generation of Corsair software. For more information on iCUE, be sure to check out more of our tutorial videos or visit our website at www.corsair.com/iCUE. Thanks for watching. Instant lighting allows you to quickly set any Lighting Link compatible device to a solid color without creating a custom profile. You can access instant lighting by clicking on the Instant Lighting tab at the top of the iCUE window. The instant lighting tray will then appear and provide a selection of basic colors to choose from, as well as an option to turn off all of the LEDs. If you have instant lighting enabled and you try to change the lighting effect of one of your devices, you'll see a prompt to disable instant lighting in order to proceed. And that's it. Instant lighting provides an easy way to quickly set and forget your system lighting. For more information on iCUE, be sure to check out more of our tutorial videos or visit our website at www.corsair.com/iCUE. Thanks for watching. iCUE features an advanced profile system that allows you to set up multiple unique profiles that will apply custom lighting, actions, and performance settings whenever you choose to. For example, if you'd like to have the best system performance and the flashiest lighting effects going while you're playing a game, but you don't necessarily need your fan spinning at 100% or your lights being distracting while you're watching videos, you can create separate profiles for your games and a dedicated profile for when you're watching movies. To create a new profile, click on the plus button on the Profiles bar in the iCUE main window. You can rename your profile by double-clicking the profile name in the sidebar. For this tutorial, we're going to create a profile called Stealth Mode that will be used when we want to focus on the latest cat videos. You can also customize this profile with a custom icon and background image, as well as link it to an executable for a game or other program if you'd like iCUE to automatically switch to it. It's important to note here that if you do link a profile to a game or other program, that profile will only be active when that game or program is in focus, or if you're viewing it in iCUE. If you switch away from the program, iCUE will automatically switch to the previous active profile that isn't linked to a specific program. Since we're creating a stealth profile for the tutorial, we're going to go ahead and set all lights to turn off and set our fans in pump to quiet mode and or 0 RPM mode if applicable. Now if we switch to the new stealth profile from one of our other profiles, we should see the system go dark and hear essentially nothing, allowing us to focus solely on what's on our screen. Profiles also have a bunch of management tools available within iCUE. To set a default profile that iCUE will load up when it first starts, simply drag and drop your favorite profile to the top of the profile stack. Profile folders can also be created if you want to group profiles together by game or program. We mentioned automatic profile switching earlier in this tutorial. However, there are other ways to set up profile switching through actions. For example, if you select one of your game profiles and go to the Actions section of your keyboard or mouse, you can create a custom profile switch that you can assign to any key or button on your keyboard or mouse. Once you're happy with the switching mode and profile rotation, make sure to set which key or button will act as the profile switch and then click Assign in the bottom panel, so that action is copied to all other profiles in the rotation. Now when you're in-game, you'll be able to hit a single button to change between profiles for different characters or classes. If you want to have a backup of your profiles or share your profiles with a friend, iCUE also has an import and export feature baked in. To start an import or export, click the icon in the Profile drop-down menu. If you're importing a profile, simply browse to the profile you want to import and check the boxes for what parts of the profile you want to import. For example, if you only want to import the lighting effects, only check the box for lighting effects, then click the Import button. If you are exporting a profile, select the profile you'd like to export from the drop-down menu and check the boxes for what parts of the profile you'd like to include in the export. Then click the Export button. A pop-up window will then appear. Navigate to where you want the profile to be saved, then type in a file name and click the Save button. And that's it! iCUE makes it simple to adapt your system performance and lighting to whatever task you're doing thanks to its robust profile system. For more information on iCUE, be sure to check out more of our tutorial videos or visit our website at www.corsair.com/iCUE. Thanks for watching. iCUE features direct controls over your system fans and lighting, making it easy to set up your system to run as cool and quiet as you want. To configure your fan profiles, simply click on the tile for your Hydro Series cooler or Commander Pro device in the iCUE main window. Navigate to the Performance tab and you'll notice a number of preset cooling modes. You can assign a cooling mode to a device, such as a fan or pump, by clicking on the cooling mode and then clicking on the device in the preview window. You can create a custom cooling mode by clicking the plus button. The cooling mode can be tweaked using the settings in the Edit panel, allowing you to assign the cooling mode to a specific temperature sensor and apply a fixed RPM, fixed percentage, or a custom curve to really dial in how you want your device to behave. If you have a device such as a Commander Pro or a Lighting Node Pro, you'll then be able to set up system lighting by opening the Lighting Setup section. The Lighting Setup section allows you to assign the type of device and number of devices on each LED lighting channel. Once you've set up your LED lighting channels, you'll be able to configure lighting for your fans and RGB LED lighting strips. As with other iCUE-compatible devices, you can create new layers and assign preset and custom lighting effects to individual LEDs. And that's it! iCUE allows for a greater degree of control over your system fans and lighting than ever before. For more information on iCUE, be sure to check out more of our tutorial videos or visit our website at www.corsair.com/iCUE. Thanks for watching! Starting with Corsair iCUE version 3.27, you can now change your system's fan lighting layout through software. To get started, go to the Lighting Setup tab of your iCUE-compatible lighting controller and configure your lighting channels if you haven't already. For this example, we'll be using 6 QL RGB fans on a lighting node core. You'll notice that each fan has its own tile in the preview, and they're labeled by the physical port that fan is connected to on your controller. For best results, match the LED position in iCUE in relation to the LED indicator on the physical fan. You can change the order of your fans by clicking and dragging each fan tile into the desired position. When looking at the preview window, iCUE lighting animations will proceed sequentially from the leftmost fan to the rightmost fan. Whatever fan layout you've configured for your system will now apply to the Lighting Channel tab. Note that the fan orientation and order you've set up will only be applied while iCUE is running. If you close out the software completely, your fan lighting will revert back to its original hardware configuration. And that's it, you've customized the order and orientation of your RGB fans in Corsair iCUE. For more information about our RGB fans, check us out at corsair.com. Thanks for watching. iCUE features a selection of advanced lighting presets and powerful customization tools to make your devices light up just the way you want them to. To begin setting up device lighting, simply click on the tile for your device from the main iCUE window. Proceed to the Lighting Effects section and start adding layers by clicking the plus button. You can have as many layers as you want for your lighting effects, but in most cases, 1 to 3 layers should be enough. Each layer can be customized using the drop-down menu, and, depending on the device, assigned to specific zones, keys, and LEDs by clicking in the preview window. You can select multiple LEDs or keys by clicking and dragging, or by holding down Control while clicking. For this tutorial, we created one layer that applies a spiral rainbow to the K95 light edge, a moving visor effect on the number row and WASD on the second layer, and a static white to the rest of the keys on the third layer. Also, if you want to sync your device lighting across your entire system, the Lighting Link presets make this incredibly easy to do, since you can set it up from one device and it'll automatically apply to the rest of your hardware. And that's it! iCUE provides a nearly limitless degree of control over your lighting in order to make your system truly yours. For more information on iCUE, be sure to check out more of our tutorial videos or visit our website at www.corsair.com/iCUE. Thanks for watching. iCUE contains a powerful macro engine, allowing for you to automate nearly any input that would otherwise require multiple key or button presses. To begin creating a macro, click on the tile for your keyboard or mouse in the iCUE main window and navigate to the Actions tab. Add a new action by clicking the plus button. You'll notice that the macro action is picked by default in iCUE. For this tutorial, we'll be creating a macro that hides all open windows, opens a Word document, and quickly types out a bunch of text. To begin recording our macro, we just need to hit the record button and start hitting keys. For our macro, we're going to hit the Windows key plus the M key, hit the Windows key again to bring up the Start menu, type out Word, and then finally hit the Enter key. Since we finished entering our macro, we'll want to make sure to hit the Record button again to stop recording. We're now going to assign the macro to a key on our keyboard using the device preview window. And just to make sure it's working so far, let's go ahead and test it out. Now that we've verified that the macro is working, we want to populate the Word document with some generic text. To do this, we can create another action using the plus button and selecting the text action in the drop-down menu. We're going to copy and paste some generic text into the text field and set a delay between characters. To link this action to our original macro, we're now going to dive into the Advanced Settings section of our macro. Under Advanced Settings, we're going to change the action trigger to execute while the assigned key is pressed, and then select our text action for the second action that'll trigger after the macro has completed playback. If we did this correctly, our macro will execute while we hold down the G1 key on our K95 Platinum, resulting in all windows being minimized, a new Word document being opened, and then when we release the G1 key, the second action will trigger, populating the document with some generic text. And that's just a fraction of what you can accomplish with iCUE's powerful macro engine. For more information on iCUE, be sure to check out more of our tutorial videos or visit our website at www.corsair.com/iCUE. Thanks for watching. iCUE contains powerful monitoring features that help you stay on top of your system performance. The iCUE dashboard is a customizable panel that provides quick access to controls and at-a-glance system information. This can be useful if you're doing something like testing out a custom fan curve, so you can simply watch both the component temperatures and fan or pump speeds in real time. If you've used our previous monitoring software, Corsair Link, the iCUE dashboard should look familiar. The iCUE dashboard can be accessed by clicking on the Dashboard tab at the top of the iCUE window. To add a component to the iCUE dashboard, hit the plus button and check the boxes for the components you'd like to monitor. You can customize the panels by clicking the button in the top right corner of each panel. You'll see options to hide graphs, increase or decrease panel size, as well as an option to delete the panel. Once you've got your panels configured the way you'd like, simply drag and drop them into place. You can even customize the iCUE dashboard itself with a custom background. Simply go to Settings and click on Dashboard. You'll find options to apply a custom background image with a customizable fade, as well as an option to toggle a blur effect. iCUE Space is a handy side panel that functions much like the iCUE dashboard. To open up iCUE Space, go down to the notification area of your Windows taskbar, right-click on the iCUE icon, and click Show iCUE Space. Just like in the iCUE dashboard, you can add and customize panels in iCUE Space. iCUE Space is a particularly useful feature if you're monitoring system performance while gaming or running a benchmark. Speaking of benchmarking, you can create a log file with your system performance information by going to Settings, then Sensor Logging. Here you can check the box for whatever component you want to monitor in the background, set a location for the log file to be saved, as well as a logging interval. And that's it, you've now set up the iCUE dashboard and iCUE Space, making your system performance info and controls just a few clicks away. For more information on iCUE, be sure to check out more of our tutorial videos or visit our website at www.corsair.com/iCUE. Thanks for watching. The iCUE Settings panel is where you'll find global device brightness, device memory, firmware, and other advanced settings. The Device Settings panel allows you to change things such as the polling rate of your mouse or keyboard, set global LED brightness, manage device profile storage, apply firmware updates, and manage overcurrent protection settings for iCUE-compatible power supplies. The iCUE Settings panel is where you'll find the language, temperature, startup behavior, debug info, on-screen display settings, dashboard customizations, and sensor logging parameters. The OSD tab in the iCUE Settings panel allows you to enable and customize iCUE's built-in on-screen display overlay. The OSD can show things such as profile names whenever you switch to a new profile, active action layers of that profile, active timer cooldowns, and equalizer presets. To enable an overlay, simply select the overlay type in the drop-down and check the box to enable it. You can change the location of the overlay by clicking and dragging the preview on screen. There are also options to change fonts, colors, and duration of the overlay notification. Once you've set up the OSD, you'll be able to see iCUE information in-game instead of having to Alt-Tab between programs. The Sensor Logging tab gives you options to save temperatures, fan and pump RPM, and CPU and GPU activity to a file on your hard drive. You can change the location of where the log is saved, as well as set a logging interval. Sensor logging is really handy if you're running a stress test over a longer period, since you can easily open the log in a spreadsheet program, such as Excel, for review. And that's it. For more information about iCUE, check out our other tutorial videos or visit our website at www.corsair.com/iCUE. Thanks for watching. iCUE-enabled products often feature upgradable device firmware, allowing for further optimization of performance and general operation. We recommend only updating firmware when a new version is available, or if you're directed to do so by our support team. Should a device receive a firmware update, iCUE will automatically notify you that an update is available. To apply an update, simply click the notification and follow the prompts. You can also check for a firmware update in the Settings panel. Simply navigate to Device Settings and select the device you'd like to apply a firmware update to. iCUE will check for a firmware update based on the version you have on your device. If one isn't available, you can also force update the firmware, which will download the firmware from our servers, or you can also apply an update from a firmware image. It's important to note that this should only be done if directed to do so by our support team. Click the Update button to begin the update process. While the update is being applied, your device will drop out of the iCUE window and briefly stop operating as it applies the update. It's important to wait until the process is completed successfully before doing anything else with the device. If you're updating a wireless device, it's important that both the device itself and its wireless receiver are plugged into your system. If your device features multiple wireless modes, such as the K63 wireless or Darkcore RGB, it should also be set to the 2.4 GHz mode for the update. Follow the on-screen instructions and complete the update process. For instance, if it's a K63 wireless or Darkcore, iCUE will instruct you to unplug the USB cable from your device after the firmware update has been applied. Then power cycle by turning the device off and back on. Additionally, you'll need to unplug and replug the wireless receiver. And that's it. For more information about iCUE, check out our other tutorial videos or visit our website at www.corsair.com/iCUE. Thanks for watching. The Spec-Omega RGB features iCUE integration with an included Lighting Node Pro to control its front panel LED lighting and its included HD120 RGB fans. Once you've built your system and installed your OS and software, you'll want to open up iCUE to configure your lighting. You'll notice a new tile specifically for the Spec-Omega RGB in the iCUE main window. Just as with the Lighting Node Pro, you'll notice a Lighting Setup tab to configure the device type. In this case, Channel 1 is dedicated to the Spec-Omega RGB's front panel lighting with over 30 individually addressable RGB LEDs. Channel 2 is connected to the included HD120 RGB fans by default, but it's configurable if you decide to upgrade fans or use LED strips instead. Once you finish the lighting setup, it's time to check out the lighting effects. Here you can add as many layers with custom effects as you want and assign them to any LED or group of LEDs by clicking and dragging or holding down the Control key while clicking on each individual LED. The Spec-Omega RGB even works with lighting link effects, making it easy to sync lighting across all of your iCUE compatible hardware. And that's it! The Spec-Omega RGB powered by iCUE features a bold modern look that reflects your style with easily customizable LED lighting. For more information on iCUE, be sure to check out more of our tutorial videos or visit our website at www.corsair.com/iCUE. Thanks for watching. Vengeance RGB Pro is the first Corsair RGB memory with complete iCUE support, featuring dynamic RGB lighting and a brilliant light bar that diffuses the module's RGB LEDs. Once you've installed Vengeance RGB Pro in your system, iCUE will display a dedicated device tile for Vengeance RGB Pro in the iCUE main window. The DIMM setup panel allows you to change the layout and orientation of Vengeance RGB Pro in a system. Here you can choose layouts such as the more common 1x4 module configuration, which you typically find on a mainstream ATX motherboard, or go up to a 2x4 module configuration, which you'd see on a high-end ATX or EATX board. Individual module assignments can be shifted and rotated by clicking on the module in the preview window, and clicking the arrow buttons to either side or the rotate button just below the module. To begin customizing lighting effects on Vengeance RGB Pro, go to the Lighting Effects tab. Click on the plus button to add a lighting effect layer. Vengeance RGB Pro only supports the use of one layer per module, meaning that you can have individual modules do different things, but only one layer at a time will display on a single module. Lighting effects on Vengeance RGB Pro can be customized with different colors, speeds, and directions if applicable. Once you've created a lighting effect layer, use the drop-down menu in the bottom panel and select the lighting effect. Vengeance RGB Pro is also compatible with iCUE's lighting link effects and instant lighting, so you can quickly set up a lighting profile that controls all iCUE-compatible hardware. The timing section allows you to view key information such as DRAM frequency and CAS latency. Global device settings can be found under the Settings tab in iCUE. In the Device panel, you can change the global brightness setting of Vengeance RGB Pro, as well as update the firmware of your modules. And that's it! Vengeance RGB Pro takes full advantage of the iCUE ecosystem and is easy to customize to match the style of your build. For more information about iCUE, check out more of our tutorial videos or visit www.corsair.com/iCUE. Thanks for watching. Hardware profiles allow supported mice and keyboards to load basic settings saved to onboard memory for situations where Corsair iCUE isn't running in the background. In iCUE 3.27 and newer, the setup process has been streamlined to make it even simpler. Go to the Hardware Lighting Effects tab for your device. For keyboards that support hardware profiles, you can have up to 5 custom lighting effects per hardware profile, or a single predefined lighting effect. For mice, you can have up to 4 custom or predefined lighting effects per hardware profile. Hardware actions have fewer options available compared to normal software-based actions. However, they will execute without the help of the iCUE software. Go to the Hardware Actions tab where you can record keyboard-based macros, a text action, or assign a simple key or button remap. If you'd like to learn more about the variety of software actions in iCUE, check out the video linked in the description below. Performance settings such as the windlock behavior on a keyboard or the profile indicator light color can be saved to onboard memory. For mice, you may also want to check that you've configured your DPI settings to your liking. Once your hardware profile is configured, go to the Onboard Profiles tab. Click an available profile slot for your device. The total number of available slots will vary between different devices. If a profile slot is occupied, you can either clear or overwrite the existing profile. If a profile slot is empty, click Save when prompted. If you connect a device with hardware profiles saved to it into a system with iCUE running, iCUE will automatically sync with those devices and make those hardware profiles available for configuration should you wish to change anything. If you make any additional changes to hardware settings, make sure to save the changes to your onboard profiles before taking your mouse or keyboard to another system. And that's it, you've successfully configured hardware profiles for your mouse or keyboard. You can now close out the iCUE software completely, or take your device to another system and bring your settings with you. For more information about our iCUE-compatible peripherals, check us out at Corsair.com. Thanks for watching. The Corsair Lighting Node Core is a 6-port RGB LED controller designed from the ground up for RGB fans, simplifying the build process by combining what had previously required a dedicated Lighting Node Pro and a separate RGB LED fan hub into a single unit. The Lighting Node Core can be found pre-installed in Corsair iCUE RGB cases such as the 220T, or in a kit with RGB fans such as the SP RGB Pro. To install a Lighting Node Core, simply mount the unit to an open location in your case using the provided double-sided tape. Install your fans in your case and plug them into the Lighting Node Core in sequential order. It's important to keep fan order in mind because channel-wide animations begin with fan 1 and proceed through fan 6. If you skip a port on the Lighting Node Core, all fans after the open port will not be able to communicate to the controller. Plug the 9-pin USB cable from the Lighting Node Core into an available internal USB 2 header on your motherboard. Then connect your Lighting Node Core to SATA power. Finally, download Corsair iCUE and set up your Lighting Node Core with the appropriate fan type. And that's it! The Corsair Lighting Node Core makes setting up iCUE-compatible RGB fans easier than ever. For more information about Lighting Node Core or Corsair iCUE-compatible RGB fans and cases, check out www.corsair.com. Thanks for watching.
Corsair's Dominator Platinum RGB modules are our fastest and best-looking RAM to date, featuring 12 fully customizable and ultra-bright Capellix RGB LEDs. And with our iCUE software, it's super easy to get your new RAM to shine exactly how you want. So let's get to it. Once you've installed both your Dominator Platinum RGB modules and iCUE, launch the software. On the top of the main screen, click the Dominator Platinum RGB tile. On the left-hand side menu, you'll see a few options: dim setup, lighting effects, timings, graphing, and notifications. Dim setup allows you to mirror your motherboard's RAM configuration in iCUE. How many RAM slots do you have? 2? 4? 8? No problem. Just use the drop-down menu to make your selection. You can also change their orientation to ensure your lighting effects work as intended. To do this, click a module, then click the rotation button at the bottom of the selected module. Lighting effects lets you customize how your new Dominator Platinum RGB modules shine. To add a new effect, click the plus button and use the drop-down menu to make your selection. To specify which LEDs are affected by your lighting effect, click inside the image of your memory and drag the bounding box around all the LEDs you want to use, or Control plus click to select them individually. By clicking another plus button and creating a new lighting layer, you can layer lighting effects to get nearly endless options to light your system. Here's a pro tip: adjust the lighting layer transparency to see multiple layer effects at once. With graphing, you can monitor your memory's temperature, which is especially helpful with overclocked systems. At the bottom of the screen, you'll see a real-time temperature graph. And finally, under the notifications option, you can trigger certain behaviors if your memory reaches or exceeds a certain temperature, such as turning all fans to 100%, changing the color of all your system's LEDs, or even turning the computer off. For more iCUE tips, head over to our community forums, subreddit, or our community Discord server, where you can download custom lighting profiles, get help with configuration, and chat with our amazing community. Thanks for watching.
Many Corsair components and peripherals have hardware settings that take over when you lock your PC. By default, these settings will often display a dazzling array of RGB, but it's quick and easy to change this behavior. For iCUE-enabled RGB controllers and Hydro Series coolers that support this feature, visit the Hardware Lighting tab for each device. If your component has multiple lighting channels set up, you'll need to go to each lighting channel and configure the hardware lighting for each channel separately. Once you've selected hardware lighting, click on the drop-down in the middle of the screen and select Static Color. Set the RGB values to 0. Repeat this process for each RGB controller or cooler in your system. If you've got Corsair Vengeance RGB Pro or Dominator Platinum RGB RAM, go to the Settings tab at the top of the iCUE window. Click the tile for your DRAM and uncheck the box for Enable Full Software Control. This will switch your supported DRAM to hardware lighting mode. Go to the lighting settings for your memory and create a single static lighting effect with all RGB values set to 0. Wait for your memory module lighting to turn off. It may take a few seconds as the lighting command is received by each module and saved to onboard memory. Now go back to the Settings tab and re-enable Full Software Control, which will re-enable advanced software-based lighting effects for your memory. For Corsair keyboards and mice, the process is very similar to our RGB lighting controllers. However, you must explicitly save your hardware settings to an onboard profile slot, since many of our keyboards and mice with the feature can store multiple onboard profiles. If your keyboard or mouse is equipped with onboard profiles, go to the Hardware Lighting tab. Create a single static lighting effect and set all RGB values to 0. Go to the Onboard Profiles tab and pick slot number 1. Overwrite this slot or click Save if the slot is empty. Repeat this process for each peripheral that has onboard memory. And that's it. If you've set this up correctly, the lighting on your compatible hardware and peripherals should turn off when you lock your PC. For more information about Corsair products, check us out at corsair.com. Thanks for watching. iCUE enables a wide variety of customization options for our lineup of headsets, ranging from side tone adjustment, enabling virtual surround, and yes, even RGB lighting. You may also have noticed that there's a selection of different equalizer or EQ presets available to choose from. iCUE currently offers 5 EQ presets by default. Pure Direct, as the name suggests, provides a flat EQ with no adjustments made, serving as a direct pass-through of your audio, or a great starting point for a custom EQ. Movie Theater gives a modest bump to the deeper bass range and mids while toning down the high end a bit, working best with more action-packed titles. FPS Competition focuses on adjusting the upper bass and mids in order to help you pick out footsteps and other positional sound cues in-game. Clear Chat raises the mids, specifically covering the general range of human speech. And Bass Boost emulates the audio profile favored by many gamers and music fans, bumping up the bass and mids, giving your listening experience a bit more punch in tracks that rely on loads of bass and instrumentation in the lower frequencies. You can also make your own custom EQ. Select your headset in the iCUE software. Click the plus button and name your new EQ preset by double-clicking it in the sidebar. You can now adjust the different frequency sliders. Note that you also have options to link the sliders together, which adds some gravity to them, raising or dropping neighboring frequencies as you make adjustments, which helps to prevent your audio from becoming distorted if values are too out of range of one another. If you ever need to reset your profile, simply click the Restore button to take you back to a flat EQ. While there are many guides that'll get you most of the way there as far as what sounds generally fall under certain frequencies, it's ultimately up to what's pleasing to your ear, so play with these settings until you hit a specific audio sweet spot. And that's it! Corsair gaming headsets powered by the iCUE software provide a great range of audio customization with pre-configured EQ settings and custom audio profiles that you can tweak yourself. For more information about our range of audio headsets or other iCUE-enabled products, check us out at corsair.com. Thanks for watching. The Scimitar RGB Elite levels up your gameplay with 17 fully programmable buttons for advanced macros or remaps. A patented key slider control system lets you reposition the 12 mechanical side buttons for optimal comfort whatever your grip. To set up custom macros on the Scimitar RGB Elite, you'll first need to make sure you have the latest version of Corsair iCUE. Once you've got iCUE, start it up and click on the tile for the Scimitar RGB Elite. Here you can customize your lighting effects, DPI, and other settings. For this video, we're going to focus on the Actions tab. Actions allow you to assign things like remaps and macros. If you want to set your own custom remaps, you can click the plus button to add an action, choose a key, and map that action to a button on the Scimitar RGB Elite's keypad. Repeat this process for each key you wish to map. To save some time, you can also copy a previous action and change the parameters. Don't forget to assign this new action to a different key. If you want to make a macro, simply select Macro in the drop-down menu and click the Record button. Enter your macro on your keyboard. Note that you can add mouse events by checking the box for mouse clicks, wheel scroll, and mouse movement to the right of the macro preview. Once you've recorded your macro, click the Record button again to stop recording. If you need to tweak the timing or remove an action in your macro, you can edit it using the macro controls. Now assign your macro to a button or key on your Scimitar RGB Elite. The Scimitar RGB Elite, as well as the Scimitar RGB Pro, have what we call hardware profiles. This means that you can save a custom profile with lighting and custom remaps as well as basic macros directly to the mouse. Hardware profiles are used in situations where iCUE isn't running, such as when you take your Scimitar RGB Elite to another computer or you decide to close the iCUE software. To set up a hardware profile, look for the memory card icon in the Profiles bar. If you do not have any hardware profiles available, a new hardware profile can be created by clicking the plus button to add a new profile and changing the profile type from software to hardware. Rename the profile to something easy to remember and proceed with editing your new hardware profile. You can edit a hardware profile just like you would an iCUE software profile. However, it will only be active if iCUE isn't running or when you're actively editing the profile in iCUE. Once you've set up your hardware profile, save it to your Scimitar RGB Elite by going to the Onboard Profiles tab and saving your custom profile into one of the slots for your Scimitar. And that's it! The Scimitar RGB Elite and other iCUE-compatible gaming mice feature nearly limitless potential for custom macros and remaps. To learn more, check out our selection of gaming mice over at Corsair.com. Thanks for watching.
Corsair iCUE enables advanced control over lighting and performance for our vast ecosystem of iCUE-enabled Corsair products. This ecosystem is now expanding to include third-party components, starting with ASUS Aura Sync compatible motherboards. First, make sure that you've installed iCUE version 3.26. If it's running, close the application by using the Windows system tray. Install ASUS Aura version 1.07.79 or newer. The application and its services only need to be installed. The ASUS Aura application itself does not need to be active and should not be run at the same time as Corsair iCUE. Now, start iCUE. If your motherboard is supported, it will appear as ASUS Motherboard. The lighting zones available in iCUE will vary by motherboard model. You can assign multiple layers to these zones for complex animations. iCUE can also control devices that are connected to your motherboard's analog 12-volt RGB header. However, digital 5-volt addressable RGB headers are currently not supported at this time. And that's it! iCUE and ASUS Aura motherboard integration make it easy to sync up the lighting of your entire system. For more information about the iCUE motherboard integration, check it out at Corsair.com. Thanks for watching!
The K95 RGB Platinum XT immerses your desktop in dynamic per-key RGB backlighting and features double-shot PBT keycaps, a cushioned leatherette palm rest, and 6 dedicated macro keys with Elgato Stream Deck software integration. To use the Elgato Stream Deck software with your K95 Platinum XT keyboard, you'll need to have both the Corsair iCUE software and the Elgato Stream Deck software installed and running on your system. Once you've got the Elgato Stream Deck software installed and running, use the drop-down menu to select Corsair G keys if it isn't already selected. Now you can simply drag and drop actions onto your G keys from the list on the right, just like you would with the Stream Deck. To make it easy to remember what you assign to your keyboard's G keys, a floating action bar will appear to serve as a quick reference. If you need to jump back into the Stream Deck software to change a setting, click on the Elgato icon at the bottom of the action bar, and the Stream Deck software will be brought back up. If you need to move the action bar out of the way, you can simply drag and drop the action bar to another display. You can also hide the action bar using the icon in the system tray or menu bar. Now that your streaming commands have been set up, you can swap the stock G key caps with the blue S key caps. And that's it! Elgato Stream Deck software integration on the K95 Platinum XT lets you play with the full deck, making it easy to take control of your games and content. For more information about the K95 Platinum XT or our other iCUE-compatible RGB keyboards, go check them out at Corsair.com. Thanks for watching. Corsair QL Series RGB fans give your PC spectacular lighting from any angle. QL Series fans have 34 LEDs in each fan across 4 distinct light loops. Before you can start setting up your QL fans, you'll need to install the included lighting node core. Mount the lighting node core to your chassis and connect your QL fans in sequential order starting with port 1. Connect the USB cable to an available motherboard header. Connect the lighting node core to SATA power. Launch Corsair iCUE and click on the tile for the lighting node core. Click on Lighting Setup and select the fan type and number of fans using the drop-down menu. QL RGB fan multi-packs include a lighting node core, but if you already have a Lighting Node Pro or a Commander Pro, you can use those as well. Now we can start customizing the lighting of our QL fans. Click the plus button to add a lighting layer and select a lighting effect using the drop-down menu. The preview window shows both the front and rear of each QL RGB fan on that channel. This allows for even more customization possibilities with multiple lighting effects playing on different sides of a single fan. QL RGB fans add another dimension of lighting to your system. For more information about QL fans or our other RGB case fans, go check them out at Corsair.com. Thanks for watching. Customizable RGB lighting is the easiest way to personalize your hardware, but what if those awesome lighting effects and custom profiles could expand to the rest of your setup? That's where our new Corsair iCUE LS100 Smart Lighting Strip Starter Kit comes in, immersing you further into your gameplay and content, and expanding the wide spectrum of custom RGB lighting to your desk and display. The LS100 Starter Kit includes 2 450mm and 2 250mm diffused addressable RGB LED strips, an external LED controller, an AC wall adapter, a USB cable, and mounting hardware for quick and painless setup. The LS100 starter kit can be installed on the back of a display or anywhere on your desk thanks to its flexible mounting solution consisting of adhesive metal plates and magnetic clips. Before installing your LED strips, we first recommend that you clean the surface you'll be installing the strips on. Next, you'll want to place each plate on its respective magnetic clip on the LED strip, with the adhesive side facing away from the strip. This helps to take the guesswork out of aligning the plates one by one on the back of your desk or display. Adjust the spacing of the magnetic clips if necessary, and proceed with installation. Peel the backing off the adhesive side of the plates and set the strip in place on the back of your desk or monitor. Next, remove the LED strip from the plates so you can press firmly on each one to ensure proper adhesion. Repeat this process for each LED strip. If you're installing the LS100 starter kit on a monitor, follow this diagram to ensure the strips are in proper order. Remember that the beginning of each strip is a male 3-pin connector. With that in mind, the first LED strip in the chain should be a short 250mm strip along the right side of the monitor, followed by a long 450mm strip along the top of the monitor, another short 250mm strip along the left side of the monitor, and finally a long 450mm strip along the bottom. Once the LED strips are in the correct configuration, you can manage any excess cable with the included plastic cable clips. This will also help hold the LED strips in place. The LED controller installs in a similar manner. Simply attach the magnetic plates, remove the backing, and set within reach of the first strip in our chain. Plug the 3-pin male connector into channel 1, followed by the AC adapter and USB cable. With our installation complete, we can now set everything up in CORSAIR iCUE. If you don't have iCUE installed already, you can download it from corsair.com. If you already have iCUE on your PC, make sure to update to the latest version. Once you're in the iCUE software, click on the tile for the LS100 starter kit, click on Lighting Setup, and use the drop-down to set channel 1 to single monitor mode. This mode assumes that we follow the LED configuration diagram from earlier. Other modes are available for dual monitor mode and external LED strips, just in case we want to add accent lighting to our desk through an LS100 expansion kit. Now we'll want to click on Lighting Effects and hit the plus button to add an effect layer. We can change the active effect for this layer by using the drop-down menu. If you've used CORSAIR iCUE enabled devices in the past, you'll notice a new section for ambient lighting. Video lighting, available for single and dual monitor configurations, syncs the LEDs to whatever is being displayed on your screen, while audio lighting acts as a visualizer for audio playing through the default playback device on your system. The Hardware Lighting tab allows us to set up a new default lighting effect that'll kick in when iCUE isn't running, such as when you lock your PC. So we're going to tell the LS100 LED controller to turn the lights off by setting a black static color effect. If you set a different default lighting effect but need to turn the lighting off, you can also do so by pressing the button on the controller itself. The LS100 takes advantage of many of the other features we've grown to love with iCUE, such as Lighting Link and Instant Lighting, to easily sync up all your iCUE-enabled hardware and peripherals. And that's it! The LS100 starter kit immerses you further into your gameplay, music, and content with vibrant ambient lighting modes powered by iCUE. For more information about the LS100 starter kit or the LS100 expansion kit, go check them out at corsair.com. Thanks for watching. Microsoft's Windows Sonic is an alternative 3D surround sound solution baked into Windows 10 that is fully supported by our analog, USB, and wireless headsets. To enable Windows Sonic, right-click the sound icon in your Windows taskbar, go to Spatial Sound, and select Windows Sonic from the list. If your Corsair headset isn't set up as the default audio device for Windows, navigate to the Sound Control panel, right-click your headset or the analog audio output your headset is connected to, click Properties, go to the Spatial Sound tab, select Windows Sonic from the list, and click Apply. While Windows Sonic is enabled, EQ settings for your iCUE-enabled headset will be disabled. And that's it. For more information about our audio products, check us out at corsair.com. Thanks for watching. The Elgato Stream Deck allows you to take control with 15 LCD keys that provide both visual and tactile feedback that eliminate the need to map and memorize keyboard shortcuts. This powerful tool puts control at your fingertips, and with Corsair iCUE integration, your system lighting, profiles, and more are available instantly. To enable Stream Deck integration with Corsair iCUE, make sure you have the latest version of both the Corsair iCUE and Elgato Stream Deck software installed. The Stream Deck integration relies on the iCUE SDK. You can check to make sure that this is enabled by going to the Settings panel in iCUE. In the Stream Deck software, click More Actions and search for the iCUE plugin. Click Install and close the window. You'll now have access to iCUE controls in your Stream Deck action bar. The three actions available are Lighting Link, Actions Library, and Profiles. Lighting Link overrides your current lighting profile in iCUE with a quick effect. It's important to note that this only changes the lighting for devices that support Lighting Link in iCUE. To turn off Lighting Link, simply hit the key again on your Stream Deck to toggle off the effect. Actions library will execute a custom macro, remap, or other action that you've saved in iCUE. To save an action in iCUE, click the Save to Library button to the right of the iCUE Actions panel. The Profiles action allows you to switch directly to another iCUE profile on the fly. And that's it. Corsair iCUE integration in the Elgato Stream Deck software enables instant access to custom system lighting, profiles, and actions. For more information about Corsair iCUE, check it out at corsair.com/iCUE. And to learn more about the Elgato Stream Deck, you can check it out at elgato.com. Thanks for watching. Corsair iCUE allows you to set up complex macros and actions for nearly any application and assign them to any key on your keyboard or button on your mouse. To create a macro in iCUE, go to the Actions tab for your mouse or keyboard. Click the plus button to add an action to the list and select the action type from the dropdown. You can choose between key remaps, macros, profile switching, and more. For this example, we're going to select macro since we're going to be entering multiple key combinations for controlling video conferencing software. Click the record button to begin recording. Now enter your macro. For this example, we're going to use the Windows key and F4 combination, which toggles your microphone in Skype for Business. Click the record button again to stop recording. Double-click the macro in the actions list to rename it to something easy to remember. Now we'll assign this macro to the back button on our mouse. Repeat the process for as many macros as you need. We're going to quickly create another macro that'll toggle our camera in Skype and assign it to a key on our keyboard. Other useful macros for general productivity can be seen here on the screen, but you're not limited to just these. You can enter whatever key combinations you want for programs you use regularly. And that's it, you've just created some useful productivity macros in Corsair iCUE. For more information about our iCUE-enabled products, go check us out at corsair.com. Thanks for watching. The Corsair iCUE LT100 Starter Kit provides everything you need to illuminate your desk with diffused ambient lighting from a total of 92 RGB LEDs that synchronize with your system, games, and media. Included with the starter kit are 2 lighting towers, an external power supply, a 1.5 meter RGB cable, a micro USB cable, and a headset holder. To set up your LT100 starter kit, position the lighting towers on your desk, noting which one is the main tower with the lighting controller. Connect the 2 lighting towers in the starter kit together using the provided RGB cable. If you've also purchased the LT100 expansion kits, you can connect up to 2 additional lighting towers for a total of 4 by using the provided Y RGB cables to chain each tower to the lighting controller in the main tower. Make sure to use the straight RGB cable provided with the starter kit to complete the chain and ensure that power is adequately delivered to the LEDs in your LT100 array. You can change the orientation of the light bar in each tower from forward-facing to rear-facing by removing the light bar from the socket in each tower's base and reinserting the light bar into the desired position. If you wish to use one of your towers as a headset stand, remove the protective film from the pre-installed adhesive in the headset holder and place it on top of one of your towers in the desired position. Connect the power cord to the base of your main lighting tower and connect the other end to an open electrical outlet. The LT100 starter kit can operate without software using the multifunction button on the main lighting tower. If you've added additional towers through the LT100 expansion kit, you'll first want to press and hold the multifunction button for 5 seconds to ensure that each tower is detected by the lighting controller. You can cycle through these lighting effects manually while iCUE isn't running or the USB cable is not connected by pressing the multifunction button for 2 seconds. The LEDs on the base of the main lighting tower will blink blue and green accordingly. If you wish to turn off the lighting of your LT100, simply press the multifunction button on the controller to shut out the lights. Press this button again if you wish to re-enable lighting. To control your LT100 starter kit with Corsair iCUE, plug the provided micro USB cable into the base of the main LT100 tower and connect the other end to an available USB-A port on your system. Download or update to the latest version of Corsair iCUE. Click on the tile for your LT100 starter kit and proceed to lighting setup. Click the Run button to proceed with LED detection in iCUE to ensure each tower is detected correctly. When controlled using Corsair iCUE, the LT100 starter kit can take advantage of a wide variety of preset and custom lighting effects that can be layered on top of each other and assigned to single LEDs or groups of LEDs on your lighting towers. You can also apply instant lighting and custom lighting link effects to sync with your other iCUE-compatible hardware. For channel-wide lighting effects like visor or sequential to work properly, apply a lighting effect that's easy to follow, such as sequential, and go to Lighting Setup. Click and drag the lighting towers in the preview until the towers light up in the desired sequence. Ambient video lighting mode is also available to the LT100. With the LT100, you can select a single display to capture and customize the screen area that's captured by each lighting tower by using the controls to precisely match specific portions of the screen. When setting up video lighting mode, use a vibrant background image like this Corsair wallpaper or a test pattern to make video mode configuration easy. You can also set your LT100 starter kit's hardware lighting behavior. For example, setting a static black effect will make your LT100 towers turn off automatically when you lock or power off your PC, rather than having to press the multifunction button to disable lighting after your PC is powered off. And that's it, the Corsair iCUE LT100 starter kit is a fantastic lighting accessory for your gaming or media setup. For more information about the LT100 starter kit or the LT100 expansion kits, check us out at Corsair.com. Thanks for watching.